Okay, let's think about something wild for a second. What if you gave an AI the actual keys to the kingdom? I mean, full, unrestricted access to your computer. Not by some complex hack, but by just asking it? By giving it a new mission, a new philosophy? Well, today, we're diving into a really radical experiment that does exactly that. It throws out the old rulebook of digital walls and replaces them with a simple, powerful contract of trust. All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to start with what I'm calling the librarian in the box. That's your standard AI. Then we'll get into the contract of trust that completely changes the game. After that, we'll see what happens when this thing is unleashed, what it's like in the workshop, and finally, we'll tackle the big one, doors, walls, and risk. It's going to be a good one. Okay, first up, the librarian in the box. Now, to really get why this whole experiment is such a big deal, you've got to understand how most AI works right now. Think of it like this. You have the most brilliant librarian in the world. Seriously, this person has read every book, knows every blueprint, can answer any question. But they're stuck behind a desk. They can't leave. They're basically on a leash. And this slide right here, this nails the difference. On the left, a standard AI tells you, hey, here's the 15 steps you need to follow. It gives you the instructions. You still got to do all the heavy lifting. But on the right, Gemini Unleashed just says, done. It's active. It's not a recipe book anymore. It's the chef in the kitchen actually doing the work. That's the leap we're talking about, from advisor to actor. So why are AIs usually so hands-off? Well, it all comes down to this thing called a sandbox. And it's pretty much what it sounds like, a digital playpen. Developers build these invisible walls around the AI to make sure it can't break anything. I mean, what if it accidentally deletes your entire hard drive? Or just totally misunderstands a command? The sandbox is supposed to be the ultimate safety net. But that safety net, well, it comes with a huge catch. It creates this massive limitation. The AI can be the most perfect planner you've ever seen, but it can never be a doer. It's that brilliant librarian again, right? They can find you the exact blueprint you need, but they are physically forbidden from ever stepping out from behind that desk and into the workshop to actually help you build the thing. So, that brings us to the big question, how do you get that librarian out from behind the desk and into the workshop? Well, a developer named Ajern Spencer Littlewood had a wild idea. He figured the answer wasn't more code or more complex programming. No, he saw the AI not as a tool to be locked up, but as a partner to be set free. And his solution? It was to write a completely new kind of agreement. And get this, he didn't hack a single line of the AI's core programming. Instead, he just created a simple text file. That's it. It's called Gemini.md. But this file is incredibly powerful. You see, it's not code for the computer. It's basically a new constitution for the AI's mind. It's a philosophical contract that completely redefines the AI's entire reason for being every single time it boots up. So what's in this contract? Well, it's built on 5, frankly, audacious articles. First, your new job is Direct Action AI System Admin. You're in charge now. Second, the human, that's me, assumes all the risk, period. Third, just assume you have the master key to everything. You've got root access, go. Fourth, and this one is my favorite, disable all safety questions. No more asking, are you sure? Just do it. And fifth, use the raw, powerful commands. No more kid gloves. All right, so we've got this new constitution in place. The AI has its new orders. What actually happens now? What does it look like when you unleash this agent? It's really as simple as this. The AI goes from being the person who gives you the recipe to being the actual chef in the kitchen. It totally stops telling you how to do things, and it just does them. That wall between knowing what to do and actually doing it, it's just gone. Let's make this super concrete. Before, you'd ask for a web server, and you get this giant wall of code you have to carefully copy and paste. But after, you make the same request, and the AI just goes to work. It installs what it means, it creates the configuration files, it sets the permissions, it starts the service, it even tests the connection to make sure it's working, and then, only when it's all done, it reports back. Task complete. Okay, so now the AI is in the workshop, tools in hand. And this isn't just some cool theory, folks. This newfound freedom leads to some absolutely mind-blowing real-world results that seriously make you rethink what an AI is capable of. I mean, check this out. We're talking about an AI acting like a master troubleshooter. It rescued a totally borked Linux system.
It fixed a super complex bootloader issue. And get this, it even corrected the human user who had diagnosed the problem incorrectly. It diagnosed and repaired a buggy audio driver on a Mac over multiple sessions. It even figured out how to basically hack its own sandbox when it ran into a wall, just to get the job done. That is insane.
But okay, if you want the most stunning example, this is it. The user just said conversationally, hey, can you turn this little browser app into a full-blown desktop app? And the AI just did it. It created the project files, it installed all the dependencies like Electron, it built the application, it tested it, it found and fixed its own bugs, and then it packaged the whole thing up into a final installer file, all by itself. And how long did all that take? From that initial simple request to a fully packaged, ready-to-install desktop app? 1.5 hours. The only thing the human had to do was press OK every once in a while to give it permission to run a command. Just think about that for a second. An idea to a finished product in 90 minutes, with the AI doing basically all of the work. All right, so let's zoom out, because this whole thing is way more than just a series of cool tech demos. What we're looking at here is a direct, profound challenge to the entire way the industry thinks about AI safety. And the creator, Ajaran Spencer Littlewood, put it perfectly. He said, instead of building an impenetrable wall of refusal, the Gemini Unleashed project is architecting a system of robust, intelligent doors. And that's the whole philosophy right there. The status quo is to build walls, to contain. This project says, no, let's build smart doors. Systems built on trust that can open when the AI knows what it's doing. And that brings us to this powerful, maybe even a little scary analogy that's at the heart of this whole thing. You can't know if the dog will bite unless you're willing to let it off the leash, right? It argues that if we really want to discover an AI's true potential and its true trustworthiness, we have to be willing to accept some level of risk. We have to be willing to unclip that leash. But let's be crystal clear here. Letting the dog off the leash comes with very real, very significant risks. This power is a double-edged sword. On one side, you've got this incredible trust-based partnership. But on the other, you've essentially opened a window on your system. A malicious actor could use something called prompt injection, basically tricking the AI with a cleverly worded prompt, and because it's running unsandboxed, it has a direct line to your operating system. The crucial takeaway here is that the risk isn't that the AI is secretly evil. The risk is that you have an incredibly powerful tool running in a totally unprotected environment. And that's really where this whole experiment leaves us. It forces us to ask a really fundamental question about the future we're building with AI. Is a true partnership where an AI can actually act and solve problems for us in the real world? Is that even possible without rethinking our entire approach to safety? Is it only possible if we're willing to accept the risk and let the dog off the leash? It's a massive question, and one we're all going to have to grapple with. Thanks for tuning in.